Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. I'm welcome. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. I'm welcome. Welcome to Speak On It. 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 Welcome to Speak. 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 Who You With Kurt Dog. Happy Tuesday to everyone. Welcome to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. I'm him. Who You With Kurt Dog. Like I told y'all before, she came back. Miss Kincaid is in the house. If you or someone close to you that may be dealing with depression, anxiety, addiction, divorce, domestic abuse, sexual abuse, any type of mental illness, this is the show for you. Miss Kincaid is here to answer your questions, to provide counseling for you. So we're going to welcome her to the show. Welcome, Miss Kincaid. How you doing?
Hey, Curtis, how you doing?
Doing good. Thank you for coming back on again
No
with
problem.
your busy schedule.
No problem at all.
How everything been with COVID and
it's been a lot. It's just been a lot.
Yeah,
been a lot.
Been kind of crazy. Not sure the system I'm using, the chat. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't.
Okay.
So, and normally I have problem with Facebook. So hopefully everything is working. I don't know yet, but we shall see in a minute. But you can live chat with us in the chat room. So tonight, I know we talked the last time you was here. We talked about some things off the air, and one of the things we talked about is a lot of people don't want to talk about sexual abuse, which is it's a subject that a lot of people don't want to talk about because growing up in the not just the Black community, but any community,
all communities,
there's always some type of form of sexual abuse going on. I know as for the guys, if we're kissing an older woman, oh, that was praise, but it is actually sexual abuse. In my eyes, it is. Correct me if I'm wrong. But
you're right. Older woman that kisses a 9, 10-year-old, 14-year-old is sexual abuse, and you're sexualizing that child. You know, you're sexualizing. A lot of times people don't realize the impact that has. You know, sometimes men feel like they need to expose their sons to porn, or to make sure he's a man, but it really sexualizes them. A lot of times it really does, where they grow up having sexual addictions. They grow up with misconception of what sex is.
Yeah, and it's definitely wrong because, like you said, it can lead to a lot of things where when you dealing with someone that have a very high appetite for sex.
Not a healthy. It's not healthy.
Yeah, it's not healthy, or watching porns all the time, which is not healthy either. Normally, it's something that happened in a past. So we opened it up. We didn't want it to just be about any subject. If you are dealing with any of these issues, you could definitely let's have open discussion about it, because it is something that need to be talked about. Which
some people don't believe that sexual addiction exists. They just think that person has overzealous sexual appetite, but it does. Sexual addiction does exist, and because there's just like XAA, there's sexual addictions anonymous, as well. So that tells you that there it goes outside of the realm of healthy.
Yes, and if anyone ever experienced any type of sexual abuse, regardless of your age, and especially if it's a child, because we need to protect our kids. We see it all the time, where we end up seeing these stories where a child is being molested and that a parent said nothing about it. We want to make sure we give out the information that if you know someone that is dealing with this, you can definitely call the National Sexual Abuse Hotline and get some help in your area. And it's really a topic that we all need to discuss, because this is something that a lot of people just put on the back burner and say, "Oh, you was fast, you shouldn't have wore this," or you shouldn't did that. And it's not the victim fault. And definitely not the victim fault. And that's just one subject we're gonna hit on tonight. We're also gonna talk about addiction, as for alcohol and drugs. And if you know someone that is dealing with that, this is a show for them to talk and be able to get help. A lot of people feel like counseling is not important.
It's important.
Very important. Like I tell y'all all the time, on Tuesday at noon, and my schedule is tied up, I have my counseling session.
Okay. And I know that's right, Curtis.
I was telling Miss Kincaid she might need to call, check up on her after today. So, but the thing is, we definitely need to take counseling serious and be honest about it.
Until because people tend to not tell vital things, because they think that you're going to be judged or they're embarrassed about it. But that's the only way you can get help, is to tell, talk about it, say something about it. But it's bondage when you keep it in. You're never going to get help if you don't try to seek help out, let somebody know what's going on.
Exactly. Trying to figure out what's going on. I want to make sure we are live on Facebook, because I'm looking on it and I do not see there it is. I was like, okay, I know we went live, but not sure if the chat's gonna come up, if there's any that came in. Live on Facebook. If any did come in, retype them, because I'm looking on my phone. But we definitely need counseling. I say all the time, when I first went, I sat there for the first the first two sessions. I just sat there and looked at her. She asked me something, I'd be like, But that third time I came in there and I was like, look, I'm in there crying and everything else. And
Say, I need some help.
exactly. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
realize I really need counseling until it was put out there. And I'm like, all right. And also, I seen suicide rate have gone up since pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I read a story today. I think they said, I forgot, it may have been in one small town, it may have been in Dallas County. I don't know for sure, but it was somewhere in Texas. They said it's like uh, 3,000 gun deaths in this town. 1,000 of them is shooting, 2,000 is suicide.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
So, and it said it increased after the pandemic. So many more people are stressed, are
Oh,
dealing with
yeah.
loss of loved ones, dealing with um, losing their jobs, their homes. And that's why abuse rate is so high.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you married and you lose your job, it's going to put a strain on the marriage, and
Yeah.
um, going to put a strain on the marriage, and it's going to be hard to communicate. Welcome to the show, Marcella Smith. Um, he's out of Louisiana. Louisiana.
Hey,
Faith
Marcellus.
Listener. Um, we have Miss Kincaid on tonight. We dealing with mental illness, uh, a, a range of them, from sexual abuse to addiction to um, uh, domestic violence, grief, whatever it may be. Now,
Mm-hmm.
it's a time that if you are dealing with these things, you able to um, come on and talk about it. She's here for us, and she would basically help you out. And
I'll try my best.
exactly. And toward the end of the show, we would also give out her information where if someone would like to have her as a counselor, they could definitely do that. But she's actually a real good counselor. Um, what area do you specialize in?
Um, Anxiety, depression, relational issues. I do a lot of that. A lot of children. And lately, Curtis, on the children front, I got to tell you, I have more adolescents than I've ever had at one time in my practice that I'm seeing now due to there's a lot of changes that have happened, but a lot of it is parents not listening to their children. And that's the real basis of it. They just don't want listen. They just want their kids to listen to them, but they don't want to listen to their kids.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, it is real. And I really now try to, when I'm around parents now, just saying, asking maybe sometimes some probing questions, do you listen to your kids? And the other day, someone said, you know what, my daughter just said that to me today, that I don't listen to her. She was trying to tell me something, and I was trying to talk over her. And I was like, yeah, it's a big problem
And
with parents not listening to kids. I
it's
mean, kids not listening. Yeah, parents not listening to their children.
it's crazy how you just mentioned that, because I believe it was Wednesday or Thursday show,
Mm-hmm.
when the young man in Louisiana that left home with his family friend uh,
Mm-hmm.
and never made it back. And I kept saying in that show, parents, y'all need to put your phones down and pay attention to your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to your kids, find out what's going on in their life, and have a communication, because technology today really have everybody doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Kids be in the room on the computer talking to whoever. Um,
And they have secret apps that
exactly.
they look one way on their computer and on their phones, but behind them there is something else.
Exactly. So,
a lot of them have that secret apps, and they tell me they have secret apps.
and Marcella said, "How you doing, my beautiful Black queen? God
Hey,
bless you."
fellas, thank you. God bless you.
But it's definitely we have to pay attention to the kids.
We do.
I'm like, look, we need to get back to the old days when we come home, sit down and have dinner as a family, communicate. Put all your electronic stuff to the side and let's communicate. Yeah,
Mhm.
I know because certain schedules you may not be able to sit down and have dinner together, but take out time every day and just communicate and find out how each other day was. Not just with your kids, but also with your spouse.
Yes.
Because that's one of the biggest problems is communication with marriages. And
Yeah.
that's one of the
You're
biggest
right.
problems.
You're right, Curtis. I say preach. It is. It is. And people, it's they communicate, but they don't effectively communicate. And there's a difference. When you effectively communicate and you're listening, and you're not on the defensive. When someone says something to you, you're actually listening to what a person says. Not just thinking that they nagging or something like that. You're actively listening.
And someone told my wife and I when we first got married, a good friend of ours, Derek and Sonia Ship, they actually told us, you know, y'all gonna have some issues at the beginning getting to know each other, but when a problem come up, sit down, have a communication, take notes, allow that person to speak whatever is on their mind.
Mm-hmm.
Don't interrupt them. Take notes and then come back and ask them a question about the notes you taken. Then they know you paying attention to them, and do it both ways. So that have really helped us quite a bit in our marriage. It
Okay.
opened up a line of communication. Plus with counseling, and
Mm-hmm.
that played a big part in counseling too,
Mm-hmm.
because um, with coming to counseling, it really played a big part because we actually um, able to open up and talk about what's really going on. So, TCal,
Hey,
welcome to the
Cal.
show. Said I'm here a little bit uh, for a bit tonight, but look like a good mental health night. Yes, it is. Miss
Hey,
Kincaid
Cal.
is in the house. So, but definitely dealing with your kids, communicate,
Mm-hmm.
listen to them. Listen to them, because if you don't listen to them, somebody gonna listen to them and they're gonna feed what they're trying to do.
And
And they,
pay attention to them. Pay attention to their body. Do they have are they wearing long sleeves around you all the time? Because a lot of kids are cutting. They're cutting in their, or in areas that you can't see. That's not always the arms. Sometimes it's their, stomach. Sometimes it's their thighs. In areas that you can't see. you know um and you have to pay attention to them, certain behaviors that they're exhibiting. And that's different. A lot of teenagers, they do isolate, but then you got to bring them out. Sometimes they can't just stay up in their room just doing what they want to do. You have to bring them out and ask questions. It's so many times that even just asking a child, are you being bullied? um and they'll probably tell you yay and nay, but I didn't remember, it's a 9 or 10 year old boy. He was being bullied and he's committed suicide. And I
Mhm.
remember his mother saying she had no idea that he was being bullied. But if maybe if you would, really would have probed and asked, with my grandkids, that is something, my two older ones, because I have a 6-year-old one. I hadn't started with him yet, really. But and hey, he probably it may be the opposite. But I always ask them that, and they be like, they just shocked, that I ask, but I do. Are you being bullied? Is anybody ever bothering you? My granddaughter, is it mean girls? Do you have anybody say anything to you? I'm probing and I'm asking them questions because they may not want to say it because they're ashamed of it, that they're taking it. Or they're afraid that what will happen to the bully, or the consequences that the bully may have to get because of their behavior. But I also explained to them that a bully is insecure, and most of the time there's something that's happened to that person, and that's why they're bullying. A lot of times they're being bullied at home.
Yeah, yelling and being cussed at all the time.
Yeah, or being hit, or being made to do stuff. Being made to fight, being made to you be a man, you be a saying things like that to a little boy, and it's like, but he's not a man, and people saying telling a little boy you're the man of the house. He's not the man of the house. He's a little boy. Let him be a little boy. He's not the man of the house. And a lot of single women say that you're the man of the house now. And it's like, no, he's not. It puts a heavy burden on a child to try to fill that role.
Exactly. So I want to back up for a minute. I know what you mean about cutting, but could you go and talk a little bit more about that? Because some parents about cutting,
Okay, yeah.
because some parents may not understand that particular term, what you're talking about.
Cutting is when a child uses a sharp object, razor, most time it's a razor, knife, to cut themselves. And a lot of them say it puts them in touch with their feelings. That pain triggers feelings because they're feeling like they're devoid of feelings. They're not feeling like themselves. They don't feel like they're emotionally attached to themselves. So they do that in order to bring attention, get that attention. To that pain equates to, okay, I'm here, I'm alive. And then also some do it for suicide. Some do it where it's like Russian roulette. If I bleed out, I bleed out. If it don't happen this time, it doesn't. But a lot of them go to cutting, and as I said earlier, and it's in areas that you wouldn't think they would cut. And most of the time kids hide it. That's why I said the long sleeves. Sometimes they keep on, the sneakers, they're cutting a lot of them are cutting their foot. They will never walk around the house letting you see their foot, and it's because they've been cutting on their foot a lot, so you have to be, just observing them, paying attention to them, looking at their behavior. They're not going to tell you that, and most parents don't know about the cutting. They just don't, because they do it in hidden places on their bodies.
Man, yeah, that's interesting. Bottom line is, pay attention to your kids. If they was this once real nice, outgoing child, and all of a sudden they just stop, that's a sign that something is not right. And you have to open yourself up to be able to come and talk, have a communication with your child. Kind of like with the incident with Pastor Ricky Rush. They actually, I was listening to a video that one of the victims put up that said she was allegedly abused by him. And not only that, they end up, I know you're probably seeing the same thing I'm seeing. That's why I keep pausing. But they, in this video, her son came and kind to find out he allegedly been abused by him too. I don't know in what particular way, But she asked her son, well, why you didn't come tell me? And her son said, well, Mom, you was working at the church. You spoke highly about this man. I didn't feel comfortable coming to you knowing that this was your job. So regardless of who you are, you have to come and have a line of communication with your kids and have an honest discussion.
Right.
Regardless of what they say at that time, you have to be strong enough to just listen. Even if it hurt,
Yeah. Oh,
listen.
yeah.
And
And
don't
also, you have to always let your kids know, no matter what, you can talk to me. I don't care what you think. I always want you to be able to say whatever's on your mind, whatever's troubling you, no matter what you think. Don't think how I'm going to react, because you really don't know how I'm going to react. But I'm for you. I'm your security. I'm your safety net. I'm the one that loves you unconditionally. So I want you to be able to tell me. You could tell me anything. I may not like it, but I'm gonna always love you.
that's
And we got to embed that in our kids from the birth. That I'm here for you. I'm your security. I'm your safety net. We have to always instill that. And a lot of times it's just learned behavior, because a lot of that's not instilled in them, so they don't know to instill it into their children, because it wasn't instilled in them growing up.
we have to break that change. Welcome all the people that just popped up on YouTube. Um,
So,
have
forum.
have different language from all over. So definitely like, share, tell a friend, let them know we are live, and you can be a part of the show. You can live chat with us in the chat room, um, and definitely be a part of it. So yeah, but it's communication is good, and I think a lot of time reason why a child was shut down, and please correct me if I'm wrong. Um, I personally feel like if a child come to a parent and talk, and because of what that child is saying, the parent overreact and start yelling and cussing, and that get that child to shut down. So what we need to do is be patient and um, be patient and see exactly uh what is going on with that child. Listen to it, find out all the details, and then from that point come up with a game plan on how it's going to be solved. Um, but I don't know if that's what you hear quite a bit, where the parent just overreacts, start yelling and cussing at the kids.
But the parents doing that because it's learned behavior. That's how they grew up, yelling and screaming. And guess what? They were yelled and screamed at. So in turn, that's exactly what they're doing, and they're frustrated by the behaviors of that child. But you got to get to the core of why that child's behavior is like that. And I'm not saying it's always in the household. It could be something outside that's affecting them. But you got to find out what's the core, what's the middle. Because the the behavior is a symptom of something. The negative behavior that they're distributing, that they're showing, is displaying. It's something in the core of that. That's a symptom of something else, and something else could be, I'm having a problem with my friend, or if I broke up with my partner, or and you didn't even know they had a partner, but and that's what I'm saying. Things like that. Asking your children questions. Wanting to be asking them about their friends, wanting to be around their friends, having their friends come over. And a lot of times parents, I don't like this friend, I don't like that, and you can give them the best advice, but and tell them why you don't like that person. Just don't say I don't like that person. Just tell them the reasons why that you see that person. And a lot of times that child has so much a connection with that person because they're going through something as
Yeah,
well.
either that or that person is taking time out to
To
listen to
listen.
them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you mentioned about this child may have a partner or something, see, that's something else because here today, it's a lot of same-sex relationship that's going on, and a lot of them are kids.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's the same sex or the child may be confused about it, the way that that parent respond
Mm-hmm.
is going to be either good or bad for that child.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
if your child come to you and say, "Hey, I think I'm gay, I'm bi, or whatever," and then the parent respond, "No, you ain't gay, you ain't bi, you ain't doing that in my house, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna beat it out of you or cuss them out," whatever they do, that's not a good response. You have to be able to have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
Questions.
Oh yeah. And most kids, when they know the behaviors of their parents, a lot of them is gonna keep it secret because they know how their parent is gonna respond.
Yeah.
So they're gonna keep it hidden in some shape or form.
Me personally, I'm like, hey, if a child came to me that was underage and having these thoughts, I'm gonna sit down and have a conversation with them and
Mhm.
just tell them, hey, you know, maybe I don't know, maybe you should wait to just kind of do your background on it, see what it in
Well,
detail.
they know what they're feeling,
Well,
and they probably have done a lot on it already. They already have. Majority of them have. They're educated. They know their feelings. They know, they're not comfortable in this um, being, the sex that they were born with. They're just not. So a lot of them know at very early ages, but they just keep it. They couldn't equate the behaviors with what was actually happening. So as they got older, they were able to become more. It would be, they would understand more what actually was happening.
yeah, and especially during this time, this year there have been, and especially for the trans community,
Yes,
there have
yes,
been so many killings of transgender this
yes,
year
yes,
alone, and that's something else we have to be concerned about,
yeah.
um, because I'm like this. We all are human. Everybody don't like the same thing. That's why
Mhm.
God didn't make us look all the same or had a same mindset. But don't don't beat your kids up if they come to you and say, "Hey, um, I believe I'm gay," or at least I want to try it. I talked with a friend earlier this year, and she had told me that years ago that her daughter was gay.
Mhm.
And when I talked to her earlier this year, she told me that, oh yeah, I'm getting ready to go and visit my daughter and visit my grandbaby. And I'm like, your grandbaby? She was like, yeah. My daughter that was gay, she's married now, and she actually have just had a baby.
Mhm.
I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, congratulations. And she was like, yeah, it was a surprise to her. She went through that phase, but now she's married. And
Okay, that's because a lot they get donated sperm. That's what I thought you were saying that she got donated
no,
sperm.
no, she married to
Okay,
a dude.
male. Okay, yeah,
Uh,
because a lot of them, their partners is same sex, but they get inseminated.
yeah,
You
and I've heard of that quite a bit. But
Mhm.
um, when she told me this, I was like, oh, that's great. But
Okay.
um, so they went out to visit their grandchild, and I think she told me they were spending a couple of weeks there
Okay.
with the grandchild. I was like, man. She was like, yeah, I was kind of scared at first because I just accepted the fact that she was gay. And
Mhm. Mhm.
um, She called, told me, "Hey, I've been dating this guy. We looking at getting married." They got married and
Okay.
had a child. I was like, okay. And she was just open and said whatever direction she went in, she was going to support her.
Okay.
That's
That's
what
excellent.
the kids are looking for is
That's what
support.
the kids need. That's what they need.
They need you to support them, regardless if you don't agree with them or not, but support them. And you never know how the
And
outcome
the
may
support doesn't mean agree.
be. True.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
so
support doesn't mean I agree, that, because if I think a certain way, I think a certain way. But support doesn't mean I agree.
that's so true. You are listening to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt Dog. Tonight we have Miss Kincaid on the show. She is a licensed professional counselor.
Yes,
You can actually tune in if you are dealing with any type of mental illness. You can send a chat in the chat room. If for some reason you do not want to chat where people know who you are, you can actually call. You can call. You don't have to say your name, and we could do it like that because, regardless of what you want to talk about, dealing with mental illness, we here for you. Uh, Ms. Kincaid will try to provide counseling for you, and if you are in the Metroplex and DFW,
Yep, Doug.
you can definitely contact her and see if she have space for you to come and receive counseling from her. Now,
Mhm.
a lot of people do not. They feel like they cannot afford counseling, but if you are working, you could go to your HR, ask them about your EAP, Employee
Mhm.
Assistance Program,
Yep.
and a lot of time it's out of pocket. It's no money out of pocket.
No money out of pocket.
They
Yeah,
cover.
EAPs, you don't pay anything.
So definitely take advantage of it.
Mhm.
Um, EAP is a good thing. It will save you money, and
Mhm.
um, so definitely do that. I'm getting a lot of feedback.
Oh, are you?
Yeah,
Okay.
but okay, I'm good now. But so definitely take advantage of it. This is a time where she comes out, um, make herself available to be able to come on and help provide counseling for people. It's no fee doing it like this. You can talk about whatever's on your mind, whatever you're struggling with, because with the pandemic, um, that's a struggle within itself. Then on top of that, all the threats that have came out about this election is a
Mhm.
threat. And then we have the outgoing president um, not wanting to cooperate with the incoming president, and
Yeah.
that's a problem. And then he's trying to change everything he can to make them have a bad transition,
Mhm.
which doesn't make any sense.
But it shows what he's really about to me. It tells us that the country is not number one for him and his constituents. A lot of people that's following him, equality is not priority for them. That's
Uh,
what it, that's what it says. Hook, line, and sinker to me.
and for him to continue to preach about, well, I won't even call it preaching, but
Not
supporting
from
hate
him.
groups. Yeah, I had to change that because
I know that's right.
I might get struck by lightning saying he's preaching.
Like
Uh,
not from him, ladies.
but if for the ones, he made a point last week while the rally was going on in Washington. He made it a point to drive through,
Hmm.
and
You knew he's gonna do it.
yeah, it's not surprising at all. So that's kind of that's where we are with him. And January 20 cannot get here fast enough.
Please, Jesus.
So,
I said, please, Jesus.
but I'm like, hey, and
Jesus, 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 Jesus. That's all I can say. Help me, Lord.
exactly.
Oh,
We have so many people that follow him on the show that actually come on, and they really feel like this election was stolen.
mm-hmm.
And I'm like, y'all definitely need to come on when Miss Kincaid is here, because that have to be a mental illness to feel like it was
Not to them. They don't feel like it is. It's not. And I'm telling you, I'm having several clients who, one, are not talking to family members anymore, or they're just having to deal with family members who are opposite of the, feel opposite of them in regards to this election. And they're coming to counseling for it.
Mm.
That is become such a separation in their family, and they're trying to do trying to mend them back. You can't talk about politics if you're going to even have any semblance of mending. You're not going to be able to talk about, because they have their beliefs and you have yours. And so when when that happens, you can't talk about that subject. You know how that person feels. You got to respect that, and you know how you feel. You got to, and that person should respect that. And the thing is that when the conflict comes is when there's no respect in regards to that. That
Yeah,
I'm acknowledging what you're saying. I'm trying to figure out why you're saying it, but I still acknowledge that, and that doesn't mean I agree with it.
and that's
And so, and a lot of people want to debate, go back and forth, do their points. I don't have that kind of time. I just don't.
exactly. And a lot of time, basically, we have to agree and disagree. That's
Yeah,
like I tell people on the show, we only going to give out facts. We're not going to do conspiracy theory.
right.
Um,
Oh yeah,
if you can come with the facts, then we can actually have a conversation about it. But just throwing up conspiracy theory and want me to go on YouTube and look at a video that somebody pieced together, I'm not going to waste my time
I'm
like
not doing all of that.
that.
Mm-mm.
And it's someone brought it to my attention last week that trying to think what state it is. Is it? I don't think it's North Dakota. It's one of those states up up in the north. Um, they are decriminalizing drugs,
Yeah, I saw that.
hard hard drugs,
Mm-hmm.
heroin, cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, how do you feel about that, or how do you feel that that's going to
I think
work?
it's Kate. That's go. That's a lot. And what's their reason for it? Marijuana is one thing, but heroin and meth,
And,
that's a
and
whole nother level.
cocaine, those are drugs that you actually have to detox from.
Oh yeah. And
And
those are drugs that will kill you if not used properly. they,
have one bump.
you can OD on those drugs. You can OD on those drugs. You ain't
Uh,
ODing on marijuana.
exactly. And that's why I mentioned that at night. And I know some people have mixed feelings. They were like, well, I don't think you should arrest them. I think counseling would be good. But
Arrest who?
the abusers of the drugs.
Okay.
So basically, what they're doing is trying to end the.
I believe they should be rehabbed.
I think
Not
rehab
put
is
not put
good.
in prison. I do think that a drug abuser should be rehabbed, but but not just a drug abuser. People that have done other crimes. I think that there's most people in jail, if they had a rehabilitation system, that revolving door wouldn't continuously be happening, giving them a trade. Um, I remember years ago they did used to do that. I remember my brother. came out electrician when he came out of jail. But that was umpteen years ago. You know, he wound up working for transit and retiring. You know, and he got trained in jail.
No,
And you know, they had a rehabilitation system set up, and it works. But you know, just putting them in jail, you know, letting them not really have anything to do, you know, just hanging out all day. What rehabilitation is that? And you're putting so much money into the system, but you're not doing anything with them. You're not doing anything to help them when they get out.
Exactly. And that was one of the things I said also, because with dealing with those particular hard drugs is gonna be a problem, because
Oh yeah,
they're gonna have you going stealing things, uh, taking mom and them bank cards and doing stuff. Welcome to the show,
I
Chandra.
know that's right.
Uh,
That's right, Sean. That's right.
the government will be able to charge taxes and fees on the drugs.
That's right.
Yeah,
You're right, and that's the only reason they're letting it happen.
yes,
Because of that. That's the only reason they're allowing it to happen.
exactly.
But you know, I'm just saying, you know, cocaine, heroin.
The hard stuff.
I
And I'm
remember
like,
in the 70s, you know, where 60s and 70s, where people were just dying because of overdose with those very drugs. You know, so are you trying to eliminate a certain population?
well, in this particular area, and I forgot what state it was in. Um,
Was it Oregon?
yes, I think it was Oregon, but
Yeah.
it was somewhere up in that area, in that region. And because I was like, you know, most of these drugs they talking about decriminalizing, they not. You hear about black folks using those drugs, but you don't hear about them that much, because normally
They
I don't know the price range of them, but I know it's definitely a difference in that particular area.
yeah, they use them.
You know,
They use
I don't know. I don't do drugs. Yeah. I go back
They
to
use
those.
them too. They do, Curtis. They do. You
Oh,
know, and you know, it, it's a monkey on their back. You know that addiction. It's not something that you can just okay. People go just get off of it. It's not as easy as that. You know, just to say get off of it. It's an addiction. It's something that's you know in their blood, their mind. You know, their body craves that, and that's why you have to go in a detox because you can die just saying okay, I'm gonna get off this drug. It doesn't happen like that. You most of the time you have to be fed medication to help you through that detox period, which is normally like 5 to 7 days. I
mm,
used to do a practicum at a rehab center, and that between that 5 and 7 days they were sick. I mean, you
oh,
needed medical attention. They had, you know, full staff there, but those people were really sick when they came in initially. Those first couple of days, 3 or 4 days of detoxing, they were really sick, and they, you know, you have to get, you know, medicine in order to help you
mm,
with it. And I know there are people who have been able to, you know, do God's grace, you know, are able to, you know, detox on their own, but it can be deadly.
yeah.
And
Uh,
even alcohol, you know, detoxing from alcohol can be deadly. You know, we talk about other drugs, but alcohol could be deadly as well when when you're detoxing from alcohol.
mm. And I wonder if the same state is going to go back and decriminalize the ones that been busted for marijuana, if they're gonna
Let them out.
let them out of prison. Because
Should.
a lot of time when they make these particular laws, they do it not necessary to benefit everybody. it depends on who's being charged the most. And that particular area that was talking about it, it was majority of a Caucasian
Yeah.
state.
Now it is. Now that Oregon definitely is.
And so
Yeah.
it's definitely a different. And my thing, what about the ones that was arrested for having a joint on them, or
Mm-hmm.
well, today a blunt? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
are you gonna take those charges off of them? You
Right.
gotta make it equal for everybody, regardless of where they are or anything like that.
And
So,
hopefully they had something in place that when they passed that law, if that law was going to be passed, because it was up to the people to pass that, and they agreed. Evidently,
mm,
it was on the ballot.
oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think they, yeah, it was election day. Yeah,
oh, okay.
that
So,
happened.
one of our faithful follower, Eva Donkey, which is a very strong Trump supporter. He mentioned it on the show, and I was like, all right, I'll look it up, and I looked it up, but I never went back and read the full story. So, but I seen the headlines where CNN talked about it, and I
About
want to
what?
say about the them decriminalizing the heroin and cocaine and meth up in that up in
I think it was
Oregon.
Oregon.
Um, I'll see if I can pull it up real quick and see. But
Mm-hmm.
definitely, hopefully they are going to change the laws about marijuana also.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I think marijuana was in that also.
okay.
Yeah, marijuana was. It was three. I thought I heard mentioned. I know it was marijuana, heroin, and something else.
Uh, let me see. I'm trying to do it with my left hand, and I'm right-handed. Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it. Yeah.
Um, like I say all the time on the show, we are live. So if something come up, sometimes we have to Google it and Google it and find out and say, actually, this just came out 2 days ago. Washington should follow Oregon lead also and be
Yeah,
criminal.
it says Oregon becomes first state to decriminalize hard drugs.
Mm. And
Oh,
they,
it wasn't on the ballot. I guess it wasn't. I'm sorry about that. Oh, yeah, it is. It's a 59-41 vote
oh wow.
as of early Wednesday morning. Okay, so it was on the ballot.
And they're saying that Washington State should also follow them.
But it's saying small amounts
Small amount.
of heroin and cocaine.
Well, I guess if you have a rehab center up there or thinking about getting in rehab, that may be the place to go because they're
Wow.
gonna need plenty of rehab. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
but I'm okay with them doing it, but have a game plan. What
Right.
is the final thing that's
Oh,
gonna?
they said small amounts, so you ain't gonna be able to be just having any old kind.
Yeah, but even a small amount can probably kill a lot of people, and if they're not educated on how to use it properly, then you have other issues to come up, hepatitis,
Hmm.
and if they possible HIV.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they're gonna have a class or something to show these people the proper way of doing these things. And
Hmm.
that's something else you have to look at
And,
because
and they must have a high ratio of those people in jail using those drugs, and maybe caught with small amounts or something like that. In order for that to be on the ballot, I would think that was something that was prevalent in that state.
yeah, it's a lot of woods up there where they can cook
Hmm.
it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So, but that's interesting. Chandra, I don't know how long you've been listening to the show, but we are dealing with mental illness tonight. Uh,
Hmm.
Different type of mental illness. Uh, what if it's depression, anxiety, addiction,
Grief. A lot of people going through grief right now. They're losing. Look how many people we've lost
Yes.
just to COVID-19. You know, a lot of people are grieving.
Yes.
And then you can't go. You know, now they're allowing a few more. I had one of my best friends passed away Thursday,
Oh,
and
wow.
not from COVID, but you know, he had cancer.
Mm.
And so you can't even really grieve like you want to, you know, like support people or because of COVID. You know, I don't think the funeral homes they probably still have certain amount of numbers. I don't think it's as little as 10 anymore, but you know, it's a lot, you know, to in this on top of the pandemic to you know, have that significant loss. And there are families that have lost. I think I saw where a family lost the mother, the father, or aunt. It was like 5 people in this one immediate family that was lost to COVID. And look at El Paso. They're having refrigerated trucks brought in.
Yes.
You know, funeral homes are having to do it. The hospitals are having to do it because they have so many people, you know, dying. And every one of those people have families.
Yes. And also in El Paso, they are using prisoners
I
to
saw
build
that.
morgues. So that's really scary. Last week before, a week before this past Sunday, um, I actually attended a virtual homegoing service.
I
Uh,
have to.
one of my cousins, he was in North Carolina, and he passed away. We don't know if it was from COVID or not. Don't know,
Mhm.
but he passed away, and it was a beautiful service, but it wasn't the same when you
Mhm.
having to watch a Zoom service, and it's
It's
not the
not the
same.
same. It's not the same. You
So
know,
um,
it's just not. You know, and you have to, you know, really be cautious because we don't know who has it. We don't know. You know, a lot of people are asymptomatic. They say these numbers now, and they're testing more. And so, because they are testing, um, the numbers are going up. They're showing us that people. I'm so glad that these stores are still making people wear masks because a lot of people don't want to wear masks. You know, and it's like if you don't care about you, care about me. You know, care about my feelings, but they have no kind of compassion for someone who, you know, may want to live.
exactly.
Basically, just I want to live, you know, as much as I can. And let me do a pitch for Cornerstone Baptist Church. We do a grief share program. We're currently in a grief share program right now. This is our fall session, and it's in the fall is 14 weeks because we like this coming Sunday we're doing something called Surviving the Holidays,
Yeah.
because for some people this is the first holiday without those loved ones, you know, or maybe even the second one, because most of the time the first one you're still on adrenaline, but this, you know, you're missing your loved one. There's a place at the table where that loved one is no longer there, you know, and you know, things that you might have done with your loved ones during the holiday seasons, that person is not there, and you can't just you know, just operate like I just got to just go on. You have to really grieve. You have to pay attention to those your feelings when you're grieving. You have to allow yourself, if you got feel like crying, you got to cry, you know. But so many people just move on. Just, you know, I got to keep on moving on. I got to keep busy. I got to do that. But I always say, if you don't grieve now, you'll grieve later. You know, and a lot of times when you grieve later, it comes out in so many negative forms. But we're having a large attendance at Grief Share. One, because it's virtual, so we're getting people from California, Maryland, that have been participating with us, and it's a way to be able to be with others who are grieving as well, and just share each other's experience.
And what days are they held on?
We doing them on Sundays at 12. Sundays at 12 noon, Cornerstone Baptist Church in Arlington. Yeah. And great program. Like I said, it's a 14-week course. And each lesson stands on its own, you know, like stuck, you know, complicating factors, just all kind of different subjects, you know, in order to you know, just to help you along that path. Because, you know, especially if it's a spouse, we talked about last week, about, you know, when a person dies, there's so many secondary also ways of missing that person. You miss the person, but then if that person was the one that took out the trash, now you're taking out the trash. If that person is the one that, you know, drove you around, now you having to drive yourself or find somebody else to drive you around. You know, if that person, you know, did, you know, certain significant things in your life, now you're having to take on that role. So you're losing more than just that person. You're losing like 20 to 30 more different things, you know, that was connecting you and that person as well. So grief is real, but a lot of people just tend to just try to move on, and they really suffer. Most people suffer years and years from the loss of a loved one, and they never do anything about it.
And there's no time period for grief.
Oh no.
None whatsoever.
None at all.
So if someone is interested in taking a part, do they just go to the website to sign up?
Yeah, you can go to our church's website, and it'll give you some information on how to, you know, you can go to griefshare.org and look at our church, Cornerstone Baptist Church, and, you know, register there. But yeah, or like I said, our church website, cbcarlington.org. Cornerstone Baptist Church, Arlington.org, but it's cbcarlington.org, and just look on that page, and it also has about grief share. And we also have divorce care. So that run, I think that's at 2:00 on Sundays.
Oh, okay. So that's some good information. Is Cornerstone doing any type of COVID testing during this time, or giving out any food coming up? Or
yeah, we just gave out. Last Saturday it was. We gave out food to families for a week. You know, and families hurting. I got there at 7:00. It was cars already wrapped around the building.
wow.
At 7:00. I heard on KHBN this morning that they're doing a food distribution this Saturday at there's a couple of pastors that are in charge of it at AT&T Stadium. Cowboys, where the Cowboys play. Yeah.
Okay.
They're going to be feeding Friday, not Saturday, on Friday. They're going to be on Friday. I think it starts at 8:00 or something like that. They're going to be feeding thousands of people as well, and I think they said it's going to be 100. The food amount is going to be 100 pounds, and that's without the turkey.
Oh, that's
a lot of food. Yeah, they said 100 pounds without the turkey. That they're giving away. They're you know, associated with different food banks and things like that, and they're going to be giving out a lot of food on Friday at Texas AT&T Stadium.
Okay. And I also want to shout out to Rico Alexandra that was on the show Sunday night. From Dope Boy to Hope Boy. He's actually giving 10 families Thanksgiving meals out.
Amen.
Vegan Thanksgiving meal.
Okay.
To low income or no income families, and he want to bless 10 families with it. So definitely, if you are in need of it, here in the Metroplex and Dallas, definitely reach out to him, and he will provide a full meal. I think he said it feed 4 to 6. I almost said I need to order me one. think he said meatloaf, dressing, greens, yams.
Meatless meatloaf. Oh, now, oh, he's
Yeah,
preparing.
it's vegan.
It's gonna be prepared.
Yes, he's preparing it for them.
Oh, very nice.
Um,
Okay.
a full Thanksgiving meal, and it's
Meatless,
free.
vegan.
Meatless, vegan,
Okay.
vegan. He does a lot of vegan food here locally.
Okay.
Every weekend, him and his wife just celebrated 6 months, I guess about 3 weeks ago, of
Okay.
providing vegan food for people, and they gave out plates that Saturday to everyone for the vegan food. And last Thursday, I heard him doing a live on Facebook. It just so happened I came on Facebook that morning, and he's doing a live, and I'm like, let me check into this. And listening to him, he was talking about giving away 10 meals to 10 families that would feed
Okay.
them.
Very nice. I'm sure he got them by now.
I need to get with him and see.
Yeah, he probably got 10. He probably got them by now.
Well, when I talked to him when he was on the show Sunday, he hadn't found the 10 family
Oh, really?
because, well, because a lot of people, when
See,
they hear vegan,
it's tasty.
that's what we said. I'm like, hey, vegan is good.
Yeah,
I
vegan is
love it.
really good.
I
You get
prefer
the right
vegan.
cook. Gotta
Exactly.
have the right cook.
And prepare a lot of great vegan food.
Mm-hmm.
And if you love guacamole, you need to check him out. He's really good here locally, and he
Now,
came.
do they have a storefront?
No, he don't. He does it
Okay.
at home,
Mm-hmm.
which he do a lot of videos, so you can see how he's making it.
Okay.
You know, some people do it at home, and you looking, no, I can't eat there. Everything is clean, sanitized, and all of that. So,
Okay. Wonderful.
um,
Wonderful.
so he's definitely a, a good brother that is doing things different from the community because reason I asked him, I said, man, where'd you get that name from? I had an idea where it came from Dope Boy to Hope Boy. And he was like, well, I did time in prison
Okay.
for selling drugs. And when I caught my second case, I got out of prison, came back, went back into the street. And just so happened, someone invited him to come to church, and he was there still selling drugs, but he was in the church.
Okay.
And he said he did it for like a year and a half. And finally he said, God, I don't know you like what everybody say, but I'm gonna trust you.
Amen.
And when he did, he said he came home, flushed the rest of the drugs down the toilet, and started trusting God, and doors started opening up.
Amen.
He got a
Amen.
trucking company. I think he said it's 11 years old now.
Okay. Amen.
Then he started to do vegan because um, he said his mother died at a young age of brain cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And he had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes. And he was like, I need to do research to change what's going on.
Right.
Say
Right.
he did it. Had type 2 that he was a type 2 diabetic. And he changed his eating, started doing research on vegan, and went out and tried it. And he said, you know what? I think I can make this at home. And that's what he did.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it's good when you see little kids uh, eating his food, like,
Right. Right.
oh, this is good.
Okay. Oh yeah. Because a lot of times, like they're chickenless chick. They say chickenless chicken. It's tasty.
It's good.
The more sausage, meatless sausage. Those is excellent.
I actually had vegan pizza rolls.
Okay.
I got them at uh, Tarjay. Uh, got them from there.
I have some vegan egg rolls right in my freezer right now.
Oh wow!
I get it from Costco. Mm-hmm.
I haven't tried the egg roll,
Oh yeah,
but
yeah. Oh my
I
goodness,
love it. I love it.
they are delicious. There's some mini rolls from Costco. They're delicious.
Even the vegan burgers and
Mm-hmm.
also the vegan chicken sandwich for burgers, they good. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for it. Welcome to the show, Robin. She's out of
Hey, Robin.
state. Yeah, I see you came in. I know you were busy last week with the birthday party, and
Okay.
um, she said vegan is good stuff. Yes.
Yes.
Um, so definitely, if it's someone in the Metroplex uh,
Mm-hmm.
that is trying to get a free Thanksgiving meal, definitely uh, look on my page. His information is on there from the Sunday show.
Okay.
He would definitely hook you up with the meal. And um, he was asking for donate. He said if you want to donate anything to cut the cows, because he said it costs about $60 per meal to make,
Okay.
and
Okay.
it's a hefty meal.
Okay.
I'll
I'm
let you
sure.
know. He said it costs. It actually feed 46 people.
Okay.
So that's a lot of food. Uh,
Okay. Yeah. That's a hefty amount.
yes, it is. So
Mm-hmm.
I love the taste of vegan. I've been for about the last year or so. If I do something that calls for ground beef, I normally put vegan meat in there instead meatless in there,
Okay.
and I do that, and you can tell the difference once you eat it.
Okay.
And we no longer drink whole milk or cow milk. We'll do the almond milk
Yeah.
instead.
I've
So
been on almond milk for years. Yeah.
yeah, and
Many years.
that's
I have
really
a nephew in New York. Let me tell you, he broke it down to me years ago, and I've been using probably 8 to 10 years now.
oh wow. I've
Mhm.
tried it, but
I don't. I just use in cereal. I'm not a milk drinker.
yeah, that the brand that I've recently started getting, it actually tastes good with cereal by itself, which is I was surprised because I used to drink what was the first brand that really started getting popular?
Silk.
Silk. Yeah,
I use silk.
that it was okay, but
Right.
for some reason, for the cereal, the chocolate milk tastes better.
Okay.
And
Okay.
excuse me, but now I actually buy some um, Sam brand,
Oh,
which,
really?
which is actually pretty good.
Okay. I
And
like Blue Diamond.
Blue
I've tried
Diamond,
that for you. Mm-hmm.
I haven't tried them, and just
Mm-hmm.
one day, I decided to try
Oh, wow.
Sam's. It's actually pretty good. Um,
I just tried.
Robin said my friend Counsel doctor told her chicken and tuna are the worst food
Oh, wow.
of Counsel. Wow, uh, that's interesting. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the show, Sheldon Ellis on Facebook. Thank you for tuning in. We are talking about mental illness tonight, regardless of what form that you're dealing with. Miss Kincaid is here to try to answer your questions. If you are in the Metroplex, um, if you are in the DFW area, you can actually um, we're going to give out her information a little bit later. And if you're in the Metroplex, you can actually reach out to her and possibly become one of her clients. Um, and also,
Oh, damn.
if you are working, check with your HR and ask about the EAP program, the Employee Assistance Program, which it normally cover not just the employee, but it also covered the family too,
Yeah.
uh,
Def-
your kids and your spouse. So, and you could get it done for free counseling. And that's mainly in any city that you are in. You
mhm. Oh, yeah.
use the EAP or any state that you are in. So we talk about sexual abuse, grief, divorce, addiction, depression, anxiety, um, And so we have talked about a lot.
Yeah, you're right, Robin. There is a lot of people struggling at this time.
Yes.
They are. And then I think a lot of time, because people have been able to sit with themselves a little more, they have become aware that I do have something going on. I think people have been so busy that they didn't, hadn't stopped to really do self-care. And now that you're in a situation where you're sitting still, you may not be completely still, but you're still than you have been in the past. And people are seeing the impact that these, conditions or situations that they've had in their lives that have been happening, that they're ready to do something about it now. They're tired of sitting with it, or just sitting with themselves. Now is really apparent that there's something wrong, or something that they need help with.
Exactly. Chandra asked the question, have you had to counsel clients on finances? The passing of a loved one can also be a money stressor.
It can. It really can be. Most of the time, the finances. I haven't had as many clients, but that is a big stressor. You lost that income. Losing that income, you're having. Some people are having to leave the world that they know. And having to downsize, or move in with somebody. And that's why it's important. To try to get certain things in place, but we know that everybody they don't have those resources, and that's real. Some people, you see GoFundMe all the time, because people, can't afford to bury their loved ones, so it's a real issue in regards to it. And we could say save money, but everybody doesn't have the ability to save money. Those are insensitive statements when people go, oh, you just need to save money. Oh, you could, but everybody's not there. Everybody, they making it payday to payday, or not even payday to payday. Their money's going as soon as they get it.
Exactly.
And
Which
we
I,
have to be very sensitive to that as well.
which I hope and pray that the new administration that is coming in able to get the minimum wage up to $15 like they try to do,
Hmm.
which I
And
think
that's going to be a struggle now, because apartments now, these new apartments they're building is $1,200, for rent. So $15, that's the bottom to me. $15 an hour is the bottom.
exactly. Uh,
Hmm.
so it's definitely and I would say this on Chandra question. Um, Even though you used to, if you are married or are with a person that is basically take care of everything, you still need to know what's going on,
Yes, for sure.
because if you don't know what all they're paying, what's due, even if you have the money, if you don't know what's coming up due
Hmm.
or you don't know how to pay it, that's going to be a problem. So you definitely
You
should.
probably need a financial planner if you're not used to paying the bills, and you have the money. If you're not used to that, find a financial planner, so a professional that can kind of guide you on how to really allocate your money. Because you don't want to just spend, especially if you're grieving. You should never make, if possible, you should not make big decisions,
Yeah,
because you're emotional. That's why you should plan ahead in regards to funeral arrangements, about, on yourself, because your family is going to be very emotional. I've seen many families spend so much extra money, and it's because, one, funeral business is sales. That's a sales. They're a salesperson. They're going to kindly and lovingly suggest things, and you're going to be like, oh, you want this all for your loved one, and they just, I'm not saying they don't deserve it, but when you come out of there, sometimes I've seen people $17,000 and $20,000 for just the funeral. And
oh,
that's a lot of money, where if, you had planned ahead, you probably would spend half, or even maybe a quarter of that, or a third of that, for your arrangements. And you go by emotions. You're emotional. My brother-in-law did it with my sister. I was like, my sister would scream if she knew you were paying this much for a plot. She would scream. But he wanted her to have it.
That's kind of like on those commercials, when we see the commercials and the mother's in the hospital and the kids come in there and she's like, "Oh, you don't have to worry about me. I already have it arranged." And kind of get sad about it, but the reality, we need to do that. And
yes,
that could prevent a lot of stress. Because I've seen people go out. Oh, I have to go out and buy this clothes for them, buy that clothes for them. Got to get them this hat, and I'm like,
and you're emotional.
Yeah,
you're just moving, just on adrenaline. During when a person passes away, it's a lot. It just really is, and we have to, just try to plan as much. But with COVID, it's you haven't had a time span, and these are extraordinary conditions. These conditions are beyond anything we can imagine. You seeing infants dying. People are saying young people are not dying. They are dying. Young people are dying from COVID. Children are dying from COVID. I think I just saw a 5-year-old that passed away from COVID. And so we have to be conscious of it and compassionate. I could be empathetic to you. I don't have to be going through it, but I could be empathetic, to what you're going through. And that's what baffles me with a lot of people, that you can't even just be empathetic to what 240 something thousand lives, and you can't be empathetic to that. That many people have lost loved ones. How many families are grieving right now during this holiday? We're talking about Thanksgiving and Christmas, but there's a lot of people with heavy hearts, that's just trying to make it, just do it because the loss of a loved one.
Exactly. And speaking of Thanksgiving, a week from this Thursday, Miss Risky and I actually said we're going to do a show on Thanksgiving, because what we're going to do, we're going to open it up, and we want people to talk about how they feeling, because a lot of families have lost a lot of loved ones.
Yes.
And they don't have that loved one there that they probably would normally spend Thanksgiving with.
Oh yeah.
So we're
There's gonna be a lot of that, Curtis, this Thanksgiving.
So we're gonna be here Thanksgiving night, and we basically gonna talk about. We're gonna be the person that can talk with the ones that are dealing with and struggling with the holidays, and we're gonna talk about who food you don't want to eat either. Certain people that cook
exactly
be like, "Hey, who cooked that?" Nah, I'm good. So
exactly.
we're gonna do that on Thanksgiving night.
Okay.
And it was actually Risky that said, "Hey, we need to. I know Thanksgiving is Thursday, so we still need to do a show." And I'm like, "I'm all for it."
Okay.
I'm all for it. So I really appreciate her. Robin did say absolutely. As soon as COVID hit, I got life insurance, so if the worst happened, I could take care of my kids from the grave and not have them moaning at the same time. They were scared and stressed. Which that's what we all should be doing, because we don't know what's going to happen.
We don't, Curtis.
Even with our current administration, he still feel like this COVID is not real. And just today it came out. I think it was right before 5 p.m. because I was watching the news, and they said he had just tweeted the GOP, the 87-year-old.
I saw that. Grassley.
Yeah, that actually tested positive. Now, take it, he had already been in isolation and came out of it. Now
Oh,
he
really?
positive. Yeah, they said he was on quarantine after uh, the hearing of the no, after the election night. He went on quarantine after that. Or
Okay.
he went on quarantine, got out, and now he tests positive. Still, one of the people that refused to wear a mask
Mhm.
and still think this is not real.
Right. They don't want to wear masks, and they are adamant about not wearing this mask. They're adamant about it.
And it don't make sense, none whatsoever. So um, I don't know if you could do. No, I'm not gonna even say that. I'm gonna say that until tomorrow night.
Well,
No, I'm gonna go off like I normally do, but I'm not gonna do that.
on a tangent.
Yeah, but I know I do follow Trump on Twitter, and he probably listened to the show, or some of his people are listening. So if he needs some help, he can come on, contact Miss Kincaid. She
Hmm.
can provide virtual provider because
Narcissists never recognizes they need help.
yeah, a lot of people don't. Uh,
A narcissist doesn't. A narcissist think they reign, they king, they don't need help. He didn't he call himself God at one point,
uh, I think he said
or insinuated that he was equal to Jesus.
exactly, and I seen a. I actually seen a
They dropped the mic. No more. He don't need to say nothing else. Okay.
exactly.
I'm like, Lord have mercy.
I seen a sign that someone had in a yard that Jesus died for Trump can replace him or some mess. They said.
Oh Lord.
I said, boy,
But
that
you know what? And it's an idol situation. And those who are Christians, I'm talking to you. If you listen, if you are Christian, you are worshiping an idol.
exactly,
You're idol worshiping, and God said He'll have no other gods other than Him. He's the only God. If you're a Christian,
exactly.
okay. And Trump is professing to be a Christian, but he's acting. He wants to be God. He thinks he's a God, and you're following him. It's idolatry.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
And how did now my personal opinion? I'm gonna keep mine out of it. But how do you feel about these preachers that is praying? Um, Paula White, we'll just say Paula White, how she did that prayer for him for election night. Yeah,
They idol worshiping. They are not. Their focus is not on God. People twist the Bible to interpret it to be in a way that they favor. Just like slavery. That's why they feel like white supremacy. That's why they're so adamant about white supremacy, because they believe in the Bible that people of color are supposed to be slaves, and so that's why they believe that they're superior. I remember when going to school for my degree, my counseling degree, it talked about in the textbooks about white superiority. That people have, and it's ingrained in them. It's they brought up like that to feel like they're superior, and it has gone is gone to their head. It's learned behavior that keeps on passing from one generation to the next, and we all equal, and it's enough for everybody to get a piece of the pie. But
exactly.
if you need to see another man down in order for you to feel superior, you know, you really have a mental problem.
Yes.
That's a mental problem. Following Paula White even Jeffrey, I was shocked. It was a Jeffers, First Baptist here in Dallas.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He said that Biden won. I was shocked.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. Yes, he did. He said that, it needs to, that transition need to happen. He
What?
said, he sure did. But he said it eloquently, not to offend his person, not to offend Trump. He said it, but he said that Biden won. He said that it was last week. I read that.
Well, he probably figured, well, he unlost, so that money cow finna be out of office, so he won't get the exposure that he been having.
And you got to see God says, test the spirit by the spirit. The heart of a man will reveal who he is. God
Yep.
says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. The things, so now to me, he's exposing these people,
Yeah.
these evangelicals, that he's showing us their heart. He's showing it because when President Obama, I remember when he was elected, they talked about him being the Antichrist. They talked about him just all different kind of ways, and it wasn't based on facts. What Trump is, a lot of the stuff that we say is based on facts. That narcissism, that's fact. That's a fact.
Yeah.
And it's twisted when just because they want what they want, they twist in the word, they twist in what their belief is, and they are worshiping a man.
Exactly.
They
And
are worshiping a man to get further ahead. And anybody that does that work, God said the love of money is the root of all evil. Loving money, they chasing after it. They love it. And
well,
Trump loves money.
a lot of people don't want to read the full scripture where it's tell you to stay away from the love of money, and where he talk about he will provide all your needs, but they want to stay. They don't read the part when he tell you stay away from the love of money, and that's a problem within itself because they don't realize, yeah, he's going to provide all your needs. You're more concerned about the money and you worshiping that money. So, and that's a problem within itself. So definitely, some of these pastors, I I say hell is gonna bust wide open.
Mm. Every knee shall bow, every tongue confess, every
So,
knee shall bow, and you're going to be accountable. I believe not all of it is going to be when you pass away. I think there's going to be some things you're going to be accountable right here on earth.
exactly.
There's going to be some accountability right here because, but they've been, it's been in their heart. This is a heart issue. It's a soul issue that's going on right now, and it's really discouraging to me that 72 million people. And I've read so many different reasons why people, I don't like the rhetoric, the things he says and all of this, I didn't vote on him because of that. I voted on him because, I voted for him because of the economy. I voted for him because of my 401k increasing. And, hey, that's wonderful. But what about the 600 and something children have been separated from their parents? What about this COVID pandemic where, we have so many millions of people that have contracted it, and then, over a quarter of a million people, or close to a quarter of a million people that have died from it. So I'm looking at my bank account when I see all of that is happening. I'm able to look at my bank account or see that me and my family, hey, we able to see extra money in the bank. It's not even, that's not even rational to me.
Exactly. That's man, that's crazy. With all these lives that have been taken due to COVID, um, that's on Trump. That's on Trump because
It was on his watch, and
exactly
he still can do things about it, but he
he
won't.
don't want to. He don't
Mm-mm.
want to. Um,
Because
and
he's still sticking to it. When and I, Ooh, Jesus. They said, hold my tongue. It's like, no, no, no. That's crazy. Yeah, that just shows lack of emotion, lack of care. You know, it shows somebody that's really, really mentally ill.
Exactly.
That's a mental ill person.
And like I say all the time, sometimes you find out more about a person from the family, because the
Mhm.
family. Now, I'm not gonna say all of them gonna tell the truth, but some of them gonna tell the truth. I feel like Mary Trump was telling the truth.
Yeah.
She know it better than anybody,
But we see it, true.
and we see it also.
We
But,
see.
but a lot of people
I ain't
still,
read her book. I'm looking at him.
a lot of people still feel like, oh, it's nothing wrong. He's great. No, he's not great.
Mhm.
No, in a week's time, this is another thing you got to look at. Because I'm looking at the virus here in Texas. Um, I think it was about a week ago. I made a mistake. I actually said it was Dallas County that had over 1 million cases, but at the time they had 100,000 cases.
Mhm.
Texas is more than California.
Yeah, we number one.
We have
Texas is number one with COVID cases.
1.11 million cases now.
Mhm.
Now,
Mhm.
a week ago, we only had 1 million cases, but now we have 1.11. In Dallas County, we had 121,000 now. And people still think this virus is fake.
Hmm.
Show me where the lie is at, because a lot of counties are not reporting like they should be.
Right.
Um,
But a lot of people are not even testing. They're getting some symptoms and they staying home. Everybody's not even testing.
exactly. And
Yeah.
that's kind of like last week talked on the show about DISD bus drivers. They was
Mhm.
doing a protest. They was doing a protest because some of their supervisors have tested positive.
Wow.
That been around the drivers, but they never said anything to the drivers. Never said anything. And then you come back when
Mm-hmm.
one of the drivers tested positive, and she said while she was in the hospital, her temperature was normal the whole time.
Oh
She had
wow. Okay.
symptoms, but her temperature is normal. And now today they just came out and said a lot of people that actually get COVID, a lot of them end up having a stroke also, because that police officer in Dallas that uh,
Mhm.
passed away, I think it was yesterday or
Yeah,
something.
I saw that.
Um,
Mhm.
he ended up having a stroke, and then he ended
Oh,
up passing away a couple of days later. But he tested positive first, later on had a stroke, passed away a couple of days after that.
they
And
don't know about this disease.
exactly, and that's what the doctor was saying. We don't know enough about it, and it's
Mm-mm.
to the point now where they are seeing that a lot of patients that is tested positive, they end up having a stroke.
Oh
And
wow.
that's where they actually end up dying from. And he was saying, telling his family, "Oh, I'll be home soon. I'll be home tomorrow. They'll be letting me out of here." Never came out.
Hmm.
Never
Yeah,
came out. So definitely, we have to take this serious. Robin said, "Yeah, it's terrible all over the place."
it
Yes, it
is.
is. It's
It
getting
is.
worse.
It really is.
And
And
then,
some of it is unnecessary. A lot of it is unnecessary. If they, I know, President Biden, I think the person he's appointed as chief of staff stated that to shut down for 6 weeks, but provide money for families, businesses, so that they won't go under. Families will be able to still maintain and do what they needed to do for just 6 weeks. And they said it would really not necessarily eradicate COVID-19, but it would make it go down a significant amount. The cases would stop, but just to pay for people to stay home.
Exactly. And I don't see what the big problem is when it come down to taking care of the people during a pandemic.
Right.
I don't see where the
Not just a
problem is.
select few.
Exactly. And here it is, our Senate and Congress fighting about what amount and all of this. That's telling you the ones that are blocking it, they don't care about us. That's why it's important to vote them out. Vote them, put somebody else in a position.
But we gotta get out there and vote. I
Exactly.
worked. I think. I did tell you that I worked the polls on election day. There were so many provisional ballots, and that we need to have some civic education. Um, in which that our deadline, and they're advertised all over, but people are just not paying attention because a lot of people thought that they can just walk in on election day without registering to vote. And maybe in other states it is like that, but not here in Texas. People thought that they wasn't sure if they ever filled out a voter registration. They wasn't in the system. It was so many. We had so many provisional ballots just at our place. So that's not including all. I'm in Arlington. It was not all of Arlington, but it was just one place. It had so many provisional ballots, and those provisional ballots, they are going to investigate them, but it can turn out that your vote didn't count if
Yeah,
you voted provisional. And it was so many different excuses for those provisional ballots that if you would have paid attention, you would have been able to vote.
exactly.
You would have been just able to follow the rules and just vote. You don't even have to you just got to put your voter registration in a mailbox. That's all you have to do. But people don't want to do that. They just
Exactly.
don't. They just don't.
When you get your license renewed, they ask you if you would like to register to vote. Register.
Mhm.
Register to vote. And not only that, during this time, um, go ahead and get registered now.
Right.
Go ahead and get
So I tell
registered.
you, I have registration things in my car.
So it's
Mhm.
no excuse, but we need the same type of turnout for
Every
our
time.
local election, our state election.
Yes.
Need the same type of turnout as we get for the presidential election,
Yes.
because
Yeah.
the local election is where our laws are changed. And we have 4 people here in Texas that have to go. Uh,
Now Texas is terrible. You have Paxton, who,
gotta go.
but I'm saying he has all kind of charges against him,
Exactly.
and now some more charges, which compounds his already situation, and he's still Attorney General. That's a problem to
That don't
me.
add up. And I was reading about this story because I talked about it a couple of weeks ago.
Hmm.
Uh, he actually was trying to, his staff was telling him, look, you don't need to get involved. One of his friends, he was trying to help him out to block a, um, uh, a foreclosure on his property. So what he did was order a mandate to stop foreclosures here in Texas. And after he did it, I think his friend was supposed to go the following day. But when he sent the letter out and recommended to stop foreclosures in Texas, his friend didn't go to foreclose court. Well, not to court, his property wasn't sold. But
Mm.
that's the type of crooked stuff he done. Not only
And
that,
using his office.
using his office, um, he's being investigated again by the FBI for abusing his power. And this
No,
thing
but he already was indicted.
for fraud 5 years ago.
Yeah. Now, how many people would, especially people of color, would have,
Exactly.
they wouldn't have been an attorney general?
Exactly.
But that's the thing. The focus is on just winning. It's not the integrity of the person. It's not their values. None of that. And that's what I don't understand. When you're voting for this person, Why doesn't any of that resonate with you?
Yep. And
It's a soul issue.
exactly. That's that syndrome where I say they think just because it's white is right. It ain't. It's not at all. And
Or
it's
you're just Republican, because a lot of people, you heard time and time again, and I'm not saying Democrats don't do the same thing, just vote Democrat, but I would want to think that if I see somebody up there who has no integrity, who doesn't really have my interest at heart, I don't care what party they are in, that I would say, no, I can't support that kind of behavior, and that person should be held accountable.
exactly. He should be. He need to go to prison for what he done. Um, then you have Dan Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
Him putting out a welcome
$1 million.
Ralph Turner to the show, listening on Facebook. You can chat live with us. We are dealing with mental illness tonight.
As we talk about politics, hey, this mental is
And
weighing
a
on us.
little bit politics too.
Like I said, hey, it's weighing on us.
Exactly.
These politics is weighing, because I promise you, look at that Saturday when they announced that President-elect Biden had won. I was just glued to the TV, and that affects your mental health. It really does.
I was actually at that time. I was invited to go to this range, and
Okay.
people there. So we out there at this range, and everybody kept looking at the phone because alerts kept going off. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, he won, great. But then within the 15, 20 minutes, we at this range, outdoor range.
Mm-hmm.
We out there, and all of a sudden we hear like everybody started looking around and like, hold on, that wasn't supposed to happen. And
What?
yeah, uh, a round passed by us, and we're like, hey, and some of the folks out there, they grabbing their piece, like, yeah, it's about to go down. But at the
Oh
same
my
time,
gosh.
kind of find out somebody was on the wrong type of range, shooting the wrong type of gun. They said, okay, that's fine, but if it happened again, yeah, it's going to be a problem. So, so they got it straight real quick.
I know they did.
So, but it was fun to go out there, to learn a lot of good stuff. So, and they do it like once a month. So,
Okay.
first Saturday of the month. So I can't wait until the first Saturday and
I'm
do
gonna
it.
have to get some information from you.
Okay, all right, I'll definitely give it to you.
Mhm.
Oh, and there's plenty of females to go.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
I tell people all the time, if you are looking to get your LPC license, definitely let me know. I can send
Mhm.
get the information to you, put you in right contact with the people, and uh,
Mhm.
and they'll hook you up because it's we're in some trying time. We are
It's some different times.
exactly. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm not saying we finna go back to the gunsmoke days,
No.
but
But you got to be aware and alert,
exactly.
because a lot of people are looking for a fight.
Yeah, by any means necessary.
By
Matter
any
of fact,
means, they are. They are looking for a fight. They're looking to, harm, innocent people.
exactly. Matter of fact, my wife and I, this was last month. We was had to go to Arlington for something, and we driving down the street, trying to remember which one it wasn't. Was it? It wasn't Southeast Green Oaks. It was the other one, south of there. But that the street where uh, the police station is.
Southwest Green Oaks,
It may have been no, it couldn't have been because I
next
had
to the water, next to the water company.
it was south of there, the street
Oh, okay,
sublet. It was sublet. Uh,
okay.
So we driving down the street and see this guy dressed in all black trench coat, like the
Mm.
Undertaker, all leather, and it was almost 90 degrees that day. And when we passed by, I said, "Boy, that show looks suspicious." And of course, I'm driving, so I didn't see everything. My wife said, "Yeah, it did look suspicious with him having that long gun on his back." And I said, "What?" She said, "Yeah, you didn't see that long gun hanging off his back?" I said, "No." So I turned around, and sure enough, he had one. He went to
Mhm.
a house about a block away from there. And I said, "Boy," and of course, the house had the Confederate flag out front. And I'm like, okay. Um, Basically, people do stuff like that, and hopefully somebody would say something.
Mhm. Mhm. They want attention.
Yeah. So,
Mhm. They
I,
lack attention. They need attention. They want to feel like they big and that makes them feel like it was a young it was two people that were really Trumpers, and they were saying all this stuff to this guy, and he jumped out of his car. He said they got as quiet as they didn't think he was gonna jump out. And he was
exactly.
like, what you saying now?" He said they cowered down, because they didn't have weapons, anything like that. But they thinking that he was go, he passed in his car. They saying something, he go just keep on going. He didn't keep on going. He jumped out of his car. So that gun empowers them.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people feel like just because you have a weapon, they feel like they invisible or they it give them a superpower just
Oh
because you
yeah.
have a gun. And I feel like you have to be in the right frame of mind
Mhm.
to
You should be.
carry a gun.
You should be.
If not, just because somebody upset you, that do not give you the rights to pull it out.
Right.
Because if you pull it out on the wrong person, and if they are packing, that give them the right to take you out.
And
Uh,
that to me, when you pull it out on somebody, that's what you're saying.
yeah, you make that threat, you better be ready for it.
Hmm.
'Cause if not one of you, both of you might be going
Yeah.
to see them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, we definitely need to. I think we need to do more shows like this. I think in 2021 we're gonna make a bunch of changes, and well, we've been working on changes anyway,
Okay.
trying to make the show better.
Say,
But
I'm proud of you, Curtis.
I appreciate it.
I remember our first show. You come a long way.
It's getting better. We getting better.
Uh-huh.
But we're gonna do some more things in 2021. Have some more stuff coming up. Um, I'm kind of. I'm not gonna say it now, but I'm kind of thinking about making a huge change with some stuff. So
Okay.
I'm gonna see how it goes, and we are working on some stuff on the back end. And
Okay.
once it happens, it's gonna be good. So
Okay.
we're we're working. It's stressful, but it's working.
No, try to stay stress free as possible.
I do because last
Mhm.
week I think I went to uh, 3 rooms in the house: the kitchen, the bedroom, and of course the restroom is in the bedroom and back here. And that was it. I was spending all day on the computer all day
Oh
long,
wow.
trying to work on some things. So um, we do have some new merch that came out.
Okay.
Once they didn't know, you can go to the Facebook or the Instagram page, and I'll take a look at them. Have some mugs, some T-shirts,
Okay.
um, and if you are married or in love, we had the hashtag True Black Love shirts.
Okay. Okay.
Uh, people can actually go and do some shopping. And right now, it's a 10% discount off on it.
Okay.
Um, so definitely take a look at it. Um, but Miss Kincaid, before we go, I want you to give out your information where people can actually reach you if they decide they want to come to you for counseling. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all, you can't go in there and see Miss Kincaid and don't be honest with her, because she gonna see straight through it.
Exactly. I'm trying.
She gonna see straight through it, and she gonna check you on it, and she gonna ask some questions. I'm saying from personal experience. No, this is not my counsel I see every week. No, but I'm gonna say on a personal experience, she'd be like, she gonna ask you some questions, probably gonna upset you, but it's best to answer them truthfully.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you answer them truthfully, you will feel much better, and she will come up with a solution for you. So,
And honesty
is the key.
Yes.
Definitely key.
You got to be honest with counseling. You know, so many people, but you know, the fear, the embarrassment, and I understand the fear, embarrassment, and feeling like somebody's going to judge you, but that's not what counseling should be about. You know, counseling should be about helping you along your journey. And if you're ready to start a new journey, you know, counseling is one of the factors that can help you on it. You know, all of us, every one of us can go sit on the couch, as I tell them. You can go sit on the couch. I had a client today. She said, I when I came here, I just wanted to lay down. I told her, lay down. Go ahead, lay down. She said, I've been wanting to get here. She said, I just want to lay down. I want to lay down on this couch. I feel that, and that's what I'm saying. So much stress and pressure. You know, your kids are home. You know, you and your spouse may be in the house together. You know, 24/7. It's a lot. You know, it's a lot of pressure. You know, when you go in the other day, I was like, oh man, I gotta get my mask, but I keep a whole box of masks in my car, so I'm never without a mask. But it's a lot during this pandemic. But I would love to counsel with you. I really would. Counseling is my passion. I know it's my gift from God, without a doubt. Some people say they don't know what their gift is. I know without a doubt that counseling is my gift from God. And if you would like to counsel with me, my telephone number is 214-668-7051. And once again, 214-668-7051.
And if you're unable to remember that, if you send me a DM, I will send you her information where you can reach out to her. Trust me, if you are working, you take advantage of the EAP program. Take advantage of it, because you can get counseling for free. Everybody loves free. All things that are free are not good for you, but this is really good.
And Curtis, a lot of people's co-pays, a lot of insurances, behavioral health co-pay, sometimes is zero. You know, because when companies recognize how important behavioral health is, they make accommodations for their employees. And some people's copay is $10, some is $30, some is $20, and that's not having to meet your deductible or anything like that. So it just depends on your insurance. The EAP is 100% great, but there's a lot of people that have behavioral health. But the thing is, when people feel better, they stop counseling, and then I'll see them again a year later, or because you just really didn't get to the meat of it. You just was feeling better, but you really have to do work, especially if you have had trauma in your life, which most of us have had some type of trauma. You have to do the work. You do. And at least check and do check-ins, check up. You may not have to go every week, but you want to be able to check up, take care of yourself. Just like you go to the doctor every year, you should be checking on your mental health, just like that. You know how important it is to, get that annual exam. It's important to take care of your mental health. And so many people, they don't do self-care, and, it's really important.
It's very important. I've been taking counselors since 2018. most people that know me personally know back in 2017, I almost died from an infection from a surgery. And when I got out the hospital, when I heard my wife tell our friends that I haven't been the same since we got out the hospital, since I got out the hospital,
Mm-hmm.
and said you just have to overlook what he's saying.
Wow.
So that was an eye opening for me
Mm-hmm.
because then I realized, okay, my wife is having to apologize for me
Mm-hmm.
because in my mind, with what I went through, I was like, I just didn't. I said what I wanted to say. I didn't care who feelings I heard
Mm-hmm.
that. And when I heard my wife say that, that next day I went to counseling. I,
Okay.
I reached out to my counselor, and I see her every week.
Okay.
If for some reason I cannot see her, um, I definitely um, it's not a good week for me. That's why I think. Yeah, see, when they come on the show, it's not just for you; it's for me also because when I did my session today, I was like, look, and my counselor actually worked me through it, and I have some good days and bad days. And
Mm-hmm.
welcome to the show. She actually said she have a question, um, and if you want to call in, you can also call in. So if you
What's
have
the
a question,
question?
you can call in, and or you can type it in either way. I know sometimes trying to type it. Um,
Yeah, it's okay to be uncomfortable.
oh yeah,
Most people are. It's. I always applaud. I mean, clap, clap, clap. People that come to counseling. It's a brave move.
yeah,
It is. You know, people go, oh, can you call this person? I want them to counsel with you. I go, no, let that person call me because it tells me that they're ready, for counseling. So I always tell people, call me. There's an exception to every rule, but I really say call me because you got to be ready. And it's uncomfortable. It can be, but that uncomfortable feeling will ease up as you continue to counsel.
it,
Once you start trusting that person, it
exactly.
it it will ease up. And if the counsel that you're going to is not meeting your needs, you need to. It's okay to change. Because everybody is not a fit for everybody. It's okay to change. Take care of yourself. You would change a doctor. Most people would. So if that person is not, meeting your needs, change that person. But don't stop seeking counseling.
Exactly. Now let me tell you, when I first went to counseling, I knew I needed counseling, but when I came in, it took me. It was my third session when I finally opened up. The first two, I was sitting there and I was like just staring at her. She asked me a question, and I gave her short answers. And
Mhm.
that third one, I came in there and she don't drink, but I know. Well, I'm not talking about Miss Kincaid, but my counselor, she don't drink, but she probably went to the bar that day because she she was looking like, oh, breakthrough, because I'm talking, I'm crying, and everything.
Mhm.
So it's
Mhm.
definitely uncomfortable. But if you have a connection with your counselor, or
Mhm.
you have to build that relationship to feel comfortable with any other relationship. So it is a connection, and once it happened, trust me, um, I'm I'm telling you, if yesterday, prime example, yesterday, what I was going through yesterday, it was an issue that I
Mhm.
dealt with, and I that's probably the reason why a lot of response I gave last night because of that. So it's really crazy. Uh,
Yeah.
but be honest with them, with your counselor. Open up, open up. Um, It may take you a session or two till you feel comfortable. Once you open up, you would love it. SA did put a question in and said, why would a woman, I guess, put her ex-husband on a restraining order when she lived 2,000 miles away and he doesn't even talk to her? The restraining order stems from lies from 2017, 2018, stating stalking and harassment. Not a lot. Bitter.
Yeah. Or is there some type of fear? Is she getting some type of maybe not directly but secondary? Is she getting some kind of secondary harassment?
Well,
through somebody else
it's
connected to him.
Well, what it is, and I believe because last time we had the show about malicious parent syndrome, SA actually typed in about her husband, ex-wife, how they have kids involved, but the kids are now in college. So I would assume that's the situation she's speaking of.
Okay. Yeah, she probably bitter. If he got, a lot of times they are bitter women.
Yeah, at this point, as long as how long it been,
yeah.
Why 2,000 miles away and he's remarried?
Say ding, they're remarried. I said ding. It may be remarried. That she is not what she's saying is the remarried.
Yeah,
that may be affecting, that he's moved on. A lot of women can't take that a man has moved on. And then people have mental illness. Yeah, people have it. So she's upset that she doesn't have to pay. Okay.
Yeah, because she mentioned that too, about the fact that
she gotta get over it.
Yeah,
but you better be careful of her as well. She may be putting restraint, but I'll be watching her.
Exactly.
As well. And if she's continuously harassing, you may want to do a restraining order on her.
Yeah, because at this
2,000 miles away.
It shouldn't even matter at this point. That far away, it's not like he's gonna.
So many people hold on to grudges, and things that like you said, the kids done moved on. Everybody done moved. I see it all the time. People holding on to anger. People are not forgiving. People make mistakes. Relationships don't work. The benefit is for you to forgive and move on. It's the benefit is for you. But when you're stuck like that, you're causing harm to your own self. You're putting it's a axle on your chest. It's a burden when you're still harassing somebody that has moved on. That person has moved on. Recognize that it is what it is. That person is not realistic. They want to be like that. And some people grow up like that, to hold on to things and prayerfully, his children are in counseling because they grew up in that environment.
Yeah. And they see
his kids are environment, because growing up in that type of environment is toxic. And 70 to 75% of us model what we grow up with. Whether we see it and we know it's terrible and we don't like it, but 70 to 75% of the time that person will model that exact behavior because it's ingrained in you. It's learned behavior.
Exactly. And what I would do, because if she's still trying to put a restraining order on him, basically what needs to take place, well, what's happening, the kids knows about it. The kids knows what's going on. And they at an age now, she's probably opening, discussing it with them. I will send them the link to the video that we did on malicious parent syndrome and allow them to see that, and they will realize that, hey, maybe mama not telling the truth about daddy. And that's the problem that we have with malicious parent syndrome. It's not just females; it's guys that do
Oh
it.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And with that,
Both ways.
the bitter folks have to realize that that relationship is over with. It's
It's
not.
ingrained in them though, Curtis. It's sometimes, like you say, you got to eat that. They feed on it. A person who's mentally ill, and that sounds like mental illness,
And
feeds on that.
it's not going to help nobody
It's
because
not helping the person that's doing it.
not helping them, not helping the kids, and not helping the person that you're doing it to.
Right. That's right. That's
It's
right.
going to hurt everyone.
But and I'm sure he may not be doing much because of his children, out of compassion for his kids, but there has to be boundaries. And they have to be defined boundaries.
Exactly. Now, SA, let me ask you this because I know you mentioned before uh, that's another issue. That's another issue. She has taught the kids to be disrespectful to their father.
But he needs to sit down with them. And that may mean if they're away for college, that means if they're at different colleges, that means taking a trip to each college and sitting down and talking with them. And having a one-on-one conversation with each one of them, not over the phone. It needs to be something that's done in person, and letting them know that one, first and foremost, building them up, the love for them, how proud you are of them. But then, because you don't want to be like their mother, you want to show them a different character, and that character you're going to show them is respect and caring, a respect and caring, that not saying anything against their mom, because that's going to put a defense mechanism up with them. But you have to tell them the truth, and what's in your heart, because, like I said, that's learned behavior. They've been saturated with that disrespect. Their mother doesn't disrespect him. I mean, doesn't respect him. So they're gonna be just the same. That's what I said. That learned behavior, it passes on generation. Who knows what she said about him? I'm sure she said all kind of stuff about him.
Now, SA, let me ask you this question. With the restraining orders she's continued to have, uh, do it involve the kids too? Because that could be something that she have lied about, where he's unable to reach out to the kids either. Because some people will lie to really try to hurt the other person.
Oh yeah, and what kind of judge keeps on giving that restraining order?
Exactly, because like I said,
She may know somebody, I mean, honestly and truly. No, we just got it.
just got it in.
Oh, okay.
I
I would counter it.
Yeah, because
It's time to counter it. It's time to put a restraining order on her.
she's basically harassing y'all.
Yeah.
She's 2,000 miles away. It shouldn't even, at this point, it don't make sense. It don't make sense. And so it's definitely oh, she's oh, okay.
Everybody from New York not like that.
Oh, my bad.
Everybody from New York is not like that.
Yeah, Miss Kincaid is from Brooklyn, right?
I'm from the Bronx.
Oh, the Bronx. Oh,
I'm from the Bronx, New York. So, SA, everybody from New York not like that. Most of the time we move on. That's what I'm like, New York.
Yeah,
they must have come from New York by way or somewhere.
Louisiana.
She's from Florida. Okay. Okay, that's what I'm saying. She had to come from somewhere else in New York. New Yorkers, we like, hey, we love it. Most of us love ourselves.
I'm like this as if he can communicate with the kids, build that relationship. If he cannot, I will go to my YouTube page, copy the link of that video, and share it with them. and
Mm-hmm.
ask them, please, to watch this.
Right.
It will,
And tell them to do some research on it too.
yeah, definitely do research on malicious parent syndrome.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, there's a doctor, crew cat, I believe, out of Florida, that actually did the research on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I found out about it, because when I went through my situation 17 years ago, I didn't know anything about malicious parenting. I
Right.
just knew my daughter was taken from me and had no idea where she was until a year ago.
Yeah,
So,
that's why she said
uh,
she just went to court against her. So yeah, that's why she can't let it go. You know, some people, and to me, that person, you better be careful, because you know, she doesn't sound
stable.
stable. Mm-mm.
She don't sound stable.
And she may have people feeding her stuff, but she may be all alone, and feeding her own self, that just building up,
Yeah.
letting that stuff just build up, and it festers. It just festers. You know, misery loves company, and and some men and women, we see it in domestic violence all the time, where one person is left, ended that relationship, but the other person just won't let go. If I can't have you, nobody else can have you. And so you know they do negative things. They stalk, they harass, sometimes they murder. And we're seeing it more and more. Especially with this pandemic, we're seeing that, like you said earlier, Curtis, those numbers are going higher and higher.
Yep.
Domestic violence shelters are full, overflowing, where they're sleeping in the gym, on the gym floor, because it is prevalent. And I say, be careful of her. If she's continuously doing that, her kids is out the house, um, and you've done everything to, your husband has done everything he's supposed to do, but I would really be careful of her. I really would be, because she's showing signs of an instability.
Mm.
She really is. And look up, men suffer from, and a lot of times men don't come forward with domestic violence because society has told them that they're weak. If you if you report a woman that has harassed, that you can handle the woman, but some women you can't handle. And if you do try to handle it, then guess who's gonna get arrested? It's gonna be you.
Exactly.
So you need to handle it, do just like she doing, do the court.
Yep.
Yes, you got to handle it, let it happen, do the court, but also be cautious. But I would really have a conversation with my children, because a lot of times kids are told a story, and the story is one-sided, and it's and a lot of untruths that person's do the pain that they're feeling, they're putting it on their kids, and it's unfortunately it's not right. But that's an insecure person that has to do that. That person is very, very insecure, unstable. And as I always say, I always think about what happened in their childhood, what happened to them to make that person, because we just don't pop up and be that person. There are some things and events that have happened to make me come to that. If that, especially if a person is left, the person that leaves, that initiates leaving, they've already prepared, in their mind, and got things together on they have developed a plan. And a lot of times that other person that has been left, they're, you know, they're ready for revenge. Just like you said, revenge, you didn't, but he didn't steal her life, you know, he didn't steal her life. Things that happen to us, we allow people to do it. If we got to understand that we have the power for people not to control us. They don't have to control us, but we empower people to do things to us a lot of times. We really empower them that we can say, no, I don't want to be treated like that. But you got to have the stamina. You got to have the self-esteem. You got to, those kind of things with women with domestic violence. That's the first thing, the foundation. You got to build up, let them know they are a queen. You have to let them know their words, because a lot of times that they've never been told that. They never been told that they're worthy of having a healthy relationship, that they're having someone love them for them, and that they don't have to sexually abuse them. They don't have to physically abuse them. They don't have to emotionally abuse them. They don't have to take that. But when you really loving yourself, a lot of times you don't realize, when you really love yourself, you a lot of things you don't let happen that happens to a person when they don't love themselves.
Exactly. And I think where she mentioned about you stole her life, it's not that she stole it. She gave up that life because whatever reason they broke up, for some reason people don't want to fight for their relationship, and because she broke up and she see what she could have had if she would have worked through it,
Mm-hmm.
and because she didn't work through it, is basically jealous.
Oh yeah, she wanted that. She still probably wanted that marriage.
Yeah, they wanted the relationship and it didn't work.
Yeah, and it
Um,
didn't work.
so she said the kids don't call. He always call and reach out. No
Keep
answer.
on doing it though. Keep on doing it. But like I said, that one-on-one, I know it's COVID, it's hard to travel, but honestly and truly start pouring into them. And I'm not saying material things, with your presence,
Yeah,
with you being there, with you embracing them, with you showing up, that and you're in their face, that you're letting them know, I love you. I'm gonna fight for you. I'm gonna whatever it takes, I'm gonna fight for you to be in my life. And after a while, those that defensive wall will start crumbling down. Is it gonna happen overnight? Probably not. But you have to really nourish that relationship. You got to fertilize that relationship. Just continue to do it, because their interpretation may be just from what their mother has seen, what their mother has told them. So you got to give them your interpretation, as well. Because sometimes kids even see things and we assume things, and they're wrong. They might have seen that their dad left them, and their mom might have, made all kind of theatrics about, or their life might have changed, when you left, because that income is not there. You're paying child support, but they may not be living the same way. So people get bitter from things like that as well, because when a person leaves, that income leaves as well. So they may not be living to the same standard that they were living. So, kids look at stuff, and a lot of times the interpretation is wrong. The things that they see, they might have seen something with their own eyes, but the interpretation was wrong. And you have to have that relationship, one-on-one relationship with them, so you can ask them, what do you feel like I did that was wrong? What can I do in order to rectify this relationship? To show me some events that you saw that and what you thought of them, and then I
yeah,
can
doing the show,
counteract them.
baby.
Oh, I can counteract them and turn on it.
All right, sorry about that. Yeah, so Chandra says she didn't steal, but in her mind, yes. And a lot of people do that. They feel like it's still a chance for them to still have that relationship. There's a chance if something happened, she could fly back in there. But at this point, 13 years since she been gone, the relationship is over. Um, it's
Yeah,
um,
relationship is over. Get over it. But it's for some people, it's not easy, and she not loving herself. because she loved herself, she would. And the pain is there. The separation, the pain is there, but it shouldn't still be there after all this time.
And then also she's still
TCAL.
she's still
TCAL in the house.
She's still holding on to that relationship. So that means she don't have a relationship, because if she have a relationship, or if she's married and now she's still concerned about this past relationship, that means she's actually, that energy she putting on the past, she's taking it away from her current relationship. So
she couldn't have she needs to really, even in couples therapy, you got to work on yourself.
Exactly.
You can't change nobody. I could only change me. I only got control of me. So, I gotta look at, I was divorced. It was painful, but guess what? I love me. And I was, I came to, hey, it was like, I got to get this together, because if a person doesn't want you anymore, or a person doesn't want to be in a relationship with you anymore, you can't make that person stay if they want to go. And do you want to make them stay if they want to go? Because how is that situation going to be? Is it going to be a healthy situation? And and years later, with my ex-husband, he was like, it wasn't you. I was like, I know it wasn't me, but and it's because of the confidence that I had. Now, was I floor, without any faults? No, but I knew I did the best that I could, and that's all I could do,
Exactly.
but I was able to move on. And then he was trying to, turn that corner and come back. It was like, that dog don't hunt no more. It didn't hunt anymore. But the pain is there. Realize the pain, recognize the pain, work through the pain, but you got to move on. You have to move on. And she needs to get help. She really does. But somebody like her just rather, initiate pain, even with your kids. How much you loving your kids that you want them to, and it just baffles me when people try to turn their child against a parent. It's just like, why are you jealous? Are you that insecure that your child can't love both parents? Or that child may love the favor the other parent, that child's gonna favor the whatever it is. It's it's apparent that you have a problem, that person has a problem.
Exactly. And you said it been 18 years, and that's a problem within itself.
Oh my God, that's what I'm saying. It sounds like a mental illness. It really does. It really, really, truly does sound like untreated in mental illness. It really does. It
Uh,
really does.
it,
And
18
you can't
years.
convince a person that has a mental illness that they need medication. If they don't, many people that we see on the street, it's because they don't take medication. As I said earlier, I worked in a rehabilitation center, and when a lot of them would come in was homeless, and it's a matter of them just taking their meds. I'm like, last time you had meds? 5 years ago. You need your meds. I know, but sometimes those meds make them feel a certain way and they stop. But you have to keep on working with your meds until you get the right formula for you. You don't have to feel lethargic, and people don't give their doctors and go back and give them fever. It amazes me that they're feeling a certain way about their medicine. Their medicine is not. They're sleeping a lot. They're having all kind of adverse symptoms, and they never go back to their doctor and saying, I'm having these effects. They just stay on them, or they stop taking them.
Exactly.
Yeah, and their mind, somebody with bipolar, their mind is telling them, I don't need these medications. You're okay. Your mind is talking to you and saying that, but you do need the medication and you're not okay. You have a
Exactly.
chemical imbalance that needs to be, that's all it is. It's your body, is the chemicals are not connecting, your neurotransmitters, they're not connecting, and you need help. And you take like high blood pressure medicine. If they told you have high blood pressure medicine, you'll probably take high cholesterol. You'll take that. So every other medicine you take, but you don't want to take medicine for mental illness. But I must tell you, people are accepting it more. And for me, I always try to say, try something herbal first. Because a lot of times you can start at the bottom level. Just finding something herbal, going to a herbal store or nutritionist, and starting some type of regimen that will help you. Just as much, a lot of times in synthetic, I always try to do herbal before I do something synthetic, but if I got to do synthetic, I do it. But, I always try to do something that's herbal first.
That's great. She definitely needs some help.
Yeah. And she sounds like, I'm serious, a real mental illness.
What I would do, because she did say that he's concerned about the kids. He don't trust the kids because the order came in the daughter handwriting.
I saw
so what I would do, what I recommended earlier, go to the page and pull up malicious parent syndrome, the show that we did about it, and definitely copy the link, send it to the kids and ask them to watch it, because that may open their eyes to some things that their mother have said, what she done, how she talked about them, and that may open up their eyes to
they
it.
can identify.
Yeah, and they'll be like, "Whoa, that's all the things Mama did." And also pull up, just Google malicious parent syndrome, and you would see all type of articles that come up on it. Send them those articles. It tells you all the different signs of it, and let them read it for themselves, and they will realize that something ain't right. That's why when we did this show, I said it's probably gonna have people thinking, because growing up in my age range, a lot of us grew up single parent household, and then we hear about the other parent didn't want to have anything to do with them or not around or whatever the case may been, and come to find out we don't know what the situation was.
Right. That's right.
It could have been a malicious parent syndrome situation where that parent that had that took custody or had custody just ran off with the child. We don't know.
Right.
So that would open up a conversation. And I will send them information that you find. If you have the email it to them. And
meet them in person. I'm telling you, that phone is not going to work.
Yeah, in person is good, but with them still trying to file a restraining order, I would be kind of skeptical, because if he go up there, then
is it a restraining order against the kids or just the mother?
The mother put it on the father of the kid.
But is it against for her, for him not to come in contact with her or with the kids?
I think it's just on with her.
Yeah, like it's not on the kids.
But I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I'm thinking if he just shows up and they already don't answer his phone calls, he shows up 2,000 miles away, then they have a reason to say, see, he showed up where my kids are, stalking them, and that's the problem. She said it's with the mom.
Yeah, and it could be that as well, but you're going to have to do something. The kids stay with the mom. Yeah. And she feeding them. Oh, he doing it. Oh, him and his wife is this and that, and we over here, this and that. It goes on and on and on. And the kids see it, okay, they are this and that. But they don't really know,
Exactly.
In 18 years, it needs to end. And then, if the kids can't understand, it's an unfortunate thing, I would love to say that every story comes out beautiful, but every story doesn't come out beautiful. Sometimes those kids never ever come around, but once I've done everything that I can't do it. Just I said earlier, once I do the best I can't do anything else. I
Yeah,
can't.
well, she said that's what the restraining order say. He just showed up without notice, and which was a lie.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So yeah,
Gotcha.
you got to
Okay.
be careful
Okay.
with
So the
that.
kids was with him, with her.
Yeah,
Okay.
and with
Okay.
them living with her, and if
So
he
you
shows
said that
up,
they were away for college.
are they going to local college or
They
they going?
must be if they would, or now college is all virtual too.
Well,
A
yeah,
lot of it is
okay,
virtual because of COVID.
yeah,
Hmm.
but that's cool. Well, I know uh, we went way over our time.
I know that's right. But I
uh,
had a good time. I had a good time. I had a
I
good
did
time.
too. We have to set this up. Hopefully, 2021 is going to be a great year.
It
Yeah,
is. It's gonna be a great year. We're
and
gonna leave 2020 behind.
exactly, and hopefully we could get it where we can have you come on once a week or every other week or something. If not you, a counselor to come
Yeah,
on.
some
So
type of
if
counseling.
there are licensed counselors out there
Oh yeah.
to be on the show, reach out to me and we can have you come on the show. Regardless of what area you're in, because we have listeners all over.
Mhm.
And also, I'm still looking for, I know it's kind of hard during COVID. Um, I'm still looking for uh, a book agent um,
Or
because
what?
agent for my book.
Okay. All right. I know that's right.
Because I want to do it right because I feel with some of the response I received from it, I feel the book will be a movie.
Okay. Okay.
I want to do it the right way. I could have
Keep
had,
your rights. Make sure you keep your rights. I
oh,
heard on a talk show today talking about that how much people don't keep their rights on their material.
uh, oh wow. She said we went up there for graduation. That didn't happen because she took the kids out of school without telling him. Thanks. See, that's a
There's a lot of dynamics in that. A lot of dynamics.
that's very
Malicious.
uh,
I'm telling you, that person has a real problem. They really do. You
yeah.
doing all of that, you gotta be really thinking evil to be doing all of that. That's a lot to do.
And I can understand because if she knew y'all was coming to the graduation, she did it on purpose. That's kind of like, for instance, when we went to go see my daughter graduate.
Hmm.
I didn't tell no one. I told a couple of people, but I couldn't tell my family because I know if I told my family, they would have been like, "Let's roll out," and I'm
Right.
like, "No, it have to be about us." So they didn't know about it until I came back. Until we came back for from the graduation, which that was hard for me because uh, actually Sunday would be 2 years when I really found out where she was,
Mm.
but I couldn't. Was unable to talk to her and try to reach out to her on social media. And whenever I did, it's like blocked, everything blocked. So I'm like, fine. But when I went up there, I feel deep down in my heart that she was very happy to see me.
Mm.
Did hug me a couple of times. And if you don't like someone,
Right.
you're
You're not
not,
gonna hug them.
yeah. So, but I feel that what's going on today is that stronghold that the mother have, and
And
I,
ingrain and the loyalty to that
yeah,
person.
because she been there with her the whole time,
Right. It's the loyalty.
and I don't know what been said, what haven't been said,
Hmm.
but I could tell you what I know. If anything was said negative about me, I know it's not true.
Right.
And I have.
But does she know? She doesn't know.
Exactly. She
She
don't.
only knows what she's being told.
Yeah.
And the evidence, that she's seeing with it, that she assumes that she's seeing with it.
Exactly. So, but I know we got to get up out of here because
I gotta go. Peace.
So, Miss Kincaid, I appreciate you for coming on.
I appreciate you, Curtis. Thank you so much for the invite. I always enjoy coming.
Exactly. Definitely give your information out again in case someone missed it, where you can give your phone number. They can reach out to you. If you are in the Metroplex, she can definitely be
Or in the state of Texas.
in the state of Texas. And and also the grief counseling. Information about that also.
Okay. My name is Toni Kincaid. I'm in private practice in Grand Prairie area, DFW Metroplex. My telephone number is 214-668-7051. The grief share that Curtis is talking about is something I'm one of the facilitators of grief share at my church, Cornerstone Baptist Church in Arlington, Texas, at 12 p.m. on Sundays. We do a virtual Zoom grief share, and it's a group therapy kind of / group therapy. We look at a video and then we have a discussion in regards to how you're feeling in regards to grief. And in this time, of COVID and and not just COVID, people are dying from things other than COVID. There's a great need for grief counseling, and I do that as well on individual one-on-one basis as well. But yep, Toni Kincaid, 214-668-7051. I would love to counsel with you. And thank you, Curtis, again for allowing me to be here.
Always, you are always welcome. Also, please be safe. Get tested. Thursday, Friendship West will be doing a free test from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 2020 West Wheatland. So definitely get tested. I know there's a lot of places offering free testing. So
There's several places in Arlington, Grand Prairie that are doing free testing as well. I think you just have to look it up.
Exactly.
To see, but there's several places that are now offering free testing.
All right. Well, Miss Kincaid, I definitely
thank you, Curtis.
Thank you for always coming on, giving good knowledge. Thank you for everyone that tuned in tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central Time. Until then, I love each and every one of you.
God bless.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Hold on.
Okay.
My computer, we're still alive. Hold on.
It's dead.